Hi, and welcome to Three Questions with. Come, my buddy Mark with us from LYF Architects. Good afternoon, Mark. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Kevin.
So, Mark, why don't we start the beginning? Tell us a little bit of a background about LYF Architects.
So LYF actually stands for Lagros, Yanowitz, and File. My partner, Ken File, and I purchased the company, did an asset purchase from Joe Lagros in 2020, right in the middle of COVID. We'd both worked with Joe for many years beforehand, but he was ready for retirement, and we did an asset purchase to continue on his legacy, build with his existing client base, and increase that diversity with the clients that both Ken and I brought in. So we're called Lagros, Yanowitz, and File, but really it's LYF Architects, based in Andover, Massachusetts. We serve all of New England, but predominantly the Boston metro area.
So, Mark, you get the question all the time, what makes LYF Architects different than maybe some of the other architectural firms?
Good question. First of all, we're general practitioners. We're doing residential, commercial, light industrial types of projects, and residential from custom single family, doing a lot of multifamily, then everything commercial, retail, restaurants, offices, and all the professional services, going into then light industrial, manufacturing, storage unit type buildings. And of course, a blend of all of those could be a mixed-use development project with many types of commercial and residential products. We're a relatively small firm, 16-person firm, with 6 senior level architects, interior designers. So when you work with us, you get one of our seniors on the team, and as opposed to a larger firm that you might be assigned a mid-level or junior designer. So you get some high-level expertise and some very personal service in developing the solutions to whatever your design needs are. I also have a construction background, and for decades have been a licensed contractor. I'm no longer building today, but I believe in the value of having a construction resource in the design process. Particularly today, as we all know, inflation has set in since COVID. We have had supply chain issues, and it's very difficult to get an understanding of true cost of a project. It's true that projects are often more expensive than we want to spend. It's just a reality. So I strongly value the idea of designing responsibly, designing with an understanding as you go through the design process, what some of your options and decisions are, and how you financially evaluate them. Many times through the past, we would design everything a client wants. And often the clients come to us and goes, my friend did this and I really love it. Or I was reading about that. What a great thing to do. Let's incorporate that in our project. Of course, as designers, we have wonderful, great, sexy ideas, but there's always cost implications with them. If we do everything that the client dreams about and all our great ideas, the project quickly gets out of control. So we need to validate a budget as we go. What we do and what I propose as a kind of a design build professional, I'm no longer building, but will introduce the client to a qualified general contractor, construction manager, who might be a suited partner in the project. This way we'll get the construction professional at no cost often to provide transparent construction cost estimating as we design, even from schematic design, mid-level design development, and through construction drawings, so that when we come up with options and ideas, we can validate it with approximations of the budget impact. So the client doesn't get ahead of themselves, and they can decide, do I upgrade this or go basic on that, and get some real construction cost estimating. in turn, this is a great opportunity for a construction professional to develop a relationship with a potential client. Instead of just being in a competitive bid process, they're through this transparent construction cost estimating, they're earning the trust of the client, showing their value and showing their interest and concern over the project, so we can optimize the design solution kind of with a budget analysis, and we end up building a team with our trusted consultants, our engineers, and other advisors, along with this construction professional, and we end up truly working in a collaborative manner, and where people are trusted throughout the process. By the time we're ready for permitting, the general contractor knows the project intimately. They've built a relationship with the client, and we've identified all of the costs and eliminated many of the unknowns, and thus often eliminate potential costly change orders. So overall, we feel like it's a unique professional service offering that is really in the interest of all parties involved. It's in the client's interest because they get the highest value. They build trust with all the with the designers and the construction professionals, and it's just smoother as we get into construction because everyone's on the same page.
So Mark, just one follow-up question. Often someone may reach out to a builder contractor for a project, and the contractor may be tempted to do the designs themselves. When do I know that I should use an architect over just letting the person do it themselves?
Well, it all comes down to the level of complexity of the project, often the scale of it. If it's a very simple, just remodeling that doesn't have much design, I think you can be well served to work with a builder. But if there's any design considerations or options, and the options may have to do with performance, whether it's more energy efficient or more durable, it's often good to get other consultants involved. Don't just take the word of a construction professional. If there's any level of complexity, you're often better served to have a professional designer involved. And that just is a checks and balances that you're really getting the best advice and looking at the solution holistically. Again, it could be with overall durability. You don't want necessarily just the cheapest thing in there, but you also want it to look good and feel good and just work well for you over time. So sometimes it can just be an hourly consultation, but a lot of times it's good to have both a designer and a contractor on board, and ideally that the types of designers and contractors that like working with one another. That they're not necessarily seeing the other one as an adversarial, but rather as a collaborative team member.
Makes sense. Mark, what's the best way for people to reach out to you? How can they learn more?
Thank you. You could always check our website at lyfarchitects.com or give us a call at 978-470-3675.
Awesome, Mark. Appreciate you taking a few minutes calling the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thanks, Kevin. Great to be a friend of yours.